What's up, guys? Today we're working on a 2008 Cadillac CTS. Came in with a fuel leak. We jacked it up. We verified that it was leaking fuel under the gas tank. In order for us to check, we have to drop the gas tank to see the lines and the fuel pump. And we're gonna walk you step by step how to drop the gas tank, give you an idea how we do it our way. So stay tuned. All right, the next step is taking out the whole exhaust. There are 4 bolts in total, 2 on each side. The nut size are gonna be 13 millimeter, and then you're gonna use a 22 millimeter to take off the O2 sensor from the pipe. Make sure you use penetrating oil for that, make it easier. And if it doesn't come out, you can go all the way up inside there. I don't know if you can see it, and disconnect it from the electrical connector. And then from there, we're gonna hop onto the back and disconnect the mufflers from the hangers. And I'll show you guys in a bit how to do that. All right, guys, we're back over here in the back of the exhaust. They're connected with these rubber hangers. Hold up the exhaust. I already popped out this one, but the way you can do it, you can do it by hand. If you want to do that, if you're strong enough, they're a little bit hard to take off by hand. But what I use is some channel locks. I pry the end of the tube and grab the rubber hanger. Just compress them together. If that doesn't work, you can use a pry bar and pry it from the end and just pry it forward. There you go.
And it pops out.
And it pops out just like that. There you go. So the locations where it's hanged on, got one in front of the muffler, got 2 on each side, on the way back side. All right, so we just took out the exhaust. We dragged it out here to the grass, lay it on the ground. We were able to take out one O2 sensor, but the other one was too hard with the wrench, so we just disconnected it from the electrical connector, which was easier for us. I forgot to mention, in the middle of the exhaust right here, there's gonna be a bracket, metal bracket. There's 2 bolts on each side, just holding it together. That centers it. It's just 2 14 millimeter sockets, and loosen them, the whole thing will come down. Next step is disconnecting the drive shaft. All right, guys, the next step is we're gonna take out the drive shaft. But before that, this heat shield needs to come out that protects the drive shaft. It has at least 4 clips around it. You just, if you have a clip tool, you can use it. If not, you can use a pry bar or a screwdriver to pry it off. There you go. And it just comes off. Make sure you do that for all 4 sides. You just put it aside. And here's the drive shaft. It's gonna be holded onto the transmission and a differential by 3 bolts, and they're gonna be 18 millimeter. You're gonna hold the bolts in the inner side and take it off by the nut on the other side. Remember, it's an 18 millimeter socket and a wrench to take it off. And before you do that, make sure you put the car in neutral, so you'll be able to spin the drive shaft more easier, so you won't have to go back up and spin it around and stuff, you know? Make it easier for you. Before you do that, make sure you mark the position of the drive shaft, and that's it. An idea of how you can do this, like I said, it's better for you to put the car neutral so you can spin it around. And the best way to do this is if you hold the wrench on the inner side like this. All right, got that in, and there you go, like so. Take the nut off. Make sure you save your washers. that. And then you go again with the next bolt spinning around, and you do the same way with the other bolt on this side. It's easier. And this is on the transmission side, on the front of the car, and the rear should be the same, and we'll show you how to do that in just a second. Alright guys, back to the rear. So it's gonna be the same procedure for the back. Gonna be held by 3 bolts. The bolts are gonna be facing towards the front of the car. So you just grab the bolt like so, 18 millimeter, remember, and grab the nut with the wrench and loosen it. There you go. Yeah, like I said, have your car neutral. Easier to just spin the drive shaft and start with the next bolt. Make sure you save your washers. The washer on the rear, the washer goes, it's the bolt. No, it's bolt, washer first, then the bolt, and then the nut on the other side. And then the front, it's nut, washer, and then the bolt by itself. Remember that. Alright, so after this, we're gonna show you how to take it off whenever it's all loosened up. Right after you finish disconnected it from the transmission and the differential, now you're gonna actually disconnect it from this cross member. Remember, it's a 15 millimeter socket, and I'm using a power tool for this just to make the job faster. Yeah, but it can be done with using some hand tools. Right there. And it's still holding in place, and I'll show you guys how to take it off from the transmission and the differential. Alright, back to the rear. We're going to show you how to separate the drive shaft from the differential. Pretty simple. You're going to put a pry bar between this rubber coupler and the differential flange, and just pry it off like so. There you go. And it should be the same for the front. I'll show you guys in a bit how to do that. Alright guys, we're on the transmission side and the front now. So like I said, pry it between the transmission flange and this rubber coupler. Give you an idea real quick. Right there. Are you ready? Just pry it out. Sorry about that, but that's how you do it. Have the pry bar like this, and pry it off, pull it to the back, like so. Guys, drive shaft is off. It's a 2-piece drive shaft, so remember to try to keep it hold whenever you take it off. When you're carrying it, hold it together because it will split apart from each other. Alright, so the next step is removing the rear suspension and subframe. Before you do anything, make sure you support your subframe. I recommend under the coil spring. Alright, make sure it's supported. Good. We're going to be taking out the shock. It's going to be a 21 millimeter here at the bottom. And if you guys are struggling, like me, because I'm a weak bitch, grab yourself a pipe or a plastic pipe. Make longer for extra leverage. There you go. You can see, got it loose. Just take off the whole bolt, and you repeat the same process for the other side. And after that, we're gonna be showing you how to remove the 4 subframe bolts. So stay tuned. Alright guys, sometimes you're gonna have a little bit of trouble taking off this bolt. It's gonna get stuck. So best way to do it is jack a little bit up the subframe, and then just try to pull it off. And there it goes. And before you do this, make sure you have the whole subframe supported by Jackstands, or you can use some blocks of wood because it is extremely heavy. So yeah, we'll show you how we're taking this off. Alright guys, we're gonna start removing the front subframe bolt. It's gonna be a 15/16 or a 24 in the metric. I'm gonna switch over to an impact wrench to make it faster for you guys for demonstration. These are pretty long bolts, just to let you know. I'll show you guys right now. The size of that thing. They're gonna be about the same size on each side. So over here to on the rear side, remember it's 21mm. I'm just gonna show you guys how to do it. I'm doing it with the impact wrench just to make it faster. You can do it with the ratchet though. Just loosen it. Remember, have it supported. Alright. Remember, very long. And it's gonna be the same procedure for the other side. So, alright guys, we just loosened, we just took off the 4 subframe bolts on each side. And like I said, be sure you have at least 2 jacks on each side. Like us, we put some blocks of wood on the bottom just to make sure it doesn't fall on the ground for protection. And you start loosening from one side little by little, and then switch to the other side, loosen it little by little, and then just work your way back and forth, and it should come down. And now the gas tank strap should be exposed right here. All right guys, we're about to drop the gas tank. So there's 2 gas tank straps, one over here you can see, and one over here in the back. I don't know if you can see that, but we'll show you in a bit. The bolt size is it's a 13mm. You need a 13mm socket. I'm using an electric ratchet, but a ratchet works if that's better for you. Now we're working on the other side. The bolt is right here for the strap, 13mm. Here I go, about to loosen the other strap, 13mm. There you go, just make the job faster. Alright guys, so after you loosen up the gas tank strap, come to the passenger side on the rear. You're gonna have this little bracket here that holds the hose that where you refill your gas. That's a 10mm bolt. You gotta take that off. Alright, and after that, you're gonna come right here where there's the small hose connects to this filler neck of the gas tank hose, and there should be a hose clamp right here. In this case, this car did not have it. Well, you're gonna separate these from each other. Don't get impatient. It's not good. There you go. After that, now we're gonna work on trying to get these straps out of the subframe, and we'll show you that in a bit. Alright guys, we're about to start removing the gas tank strap. As you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but it's right there. It's kind of stuck. And what my friend Luis is doing, he's grabbing it, he's pulling it towards the middle and kind of twisting it, working his way right there. What he's doing is lifting up the gas tank, and while lifting it up, he's twisting it towards his right side, towards the middle of it, and kind of jiggle it around, and it should come out to the side. All right, guys, we're on the left side of the vehicle, on the rear side. So now for the next strap, this one's a little bit more easier. So you're going to lift it up, and you just, can you see that? Can you show that again, please? So so it's in there, right? So you kind of just pull it back, and it should just fall out like that. It's more easy on the left side. You're gonna drop it down slowly. Here we go. All right, it's coming down. Make sure you don't get, try to look around it, see if nothing gets stuck or kinked, any lines or anything. Make sure you see any electrical connectors not getting stretched or anything or pulled. As you can see, it's coming down slowly. Also, you can go ahead and disconnect your fuel pump connector. There you go. It has a little tab right here. Press it in, pull out. So let's do it. As you can see, we had a big fuel leak right here. It's kind of wet. It's the fuel pump. Usually goes bad. These little nipples from the fuel pump tend to crack. It's plastic, so it leaks all the fuel everywhere. So we're about to show you guys how to take off this line. You're gonna need a fuel line disconnect tool. I have these plastic ones. I got these O'Reilly's. They're pretty cheap. Maybe like 20 bucks or something. Gets the job done. So I grabbed the little one, the smallest one right here, and I clip it on. Clip it on around that nipple. Work your way in there. Make sure it's all the way in. Good. And after that, if you feel pretty confident, just pull it off like so. Make sure you wear some gloves. You don't want to get gas all over your hands. It's not good for you. I'm a dumbass, you know. Alright guys, I'm right here. I'm about to confirm that this little plastic nipple right here is cracked. So what I want to do is connect the fuel pump back. Have my buddy go inside, cycle the key like a few times just to see if the fuel actually leaks and it's not the line. Alright, can you cycle it now? Oh yeah, that's really cracked. No, honestly, you can't really service that. It's part of the fuel pump, so sadly you're gonna have to buy a new pump for that. Alright guys, now we're gonna take off the fuel pump. It's holding on place by this lock ring. I had already loosened it. I got ahead of myself, but what I did is I put the screwdriver right here, and you gotta hit the crap out of it. You gotta hit it hard. It's gonna take a few tries. You gotta do it with some balls, but I gotta just hit it right there. Make sure you're going counterclockwise. You just hit it really hard. It should have come out. So since I have it loose already, and just come out like that, like so. Like that. So we took out the ring. So all you gotta do just if it does, just try to pull it out, pull it up. If it doesn't, you can get like a screwdriver to pry it off, pry it up. So what I'm doing, draining all the fuel back inside. I don't want to spill all of it out. Damn it. All right, I think I got all of it out. So I think it's just hold it on with this little, oops, hold it on with this little line right here. Let's see how we can take that off. Oh, so it has two tabs in here. I don't know if you can see it. One tab right here, one on the other side. Pull, and there you go. Give you another look. One tab right here, one tab right here, and you kind of just pull it hard. And there you go. Fuel pump is out, and we'll show you the new fuel pump and compare them, and we'll be back. This is the new one. We got Spectra Premium, part number SP6036M on this old one. There you go. I can barely see that crack right there. That's where all the fuel was leaking on this one. So there you go. So we're about to install this so you can focus, and let's see how it goes. I'll walk you through it, and we're almost ready to put everything back together. Oh, forgot to mention, this one comes with the seal. Here's the new seal. Take the old one out. Here's the new one. All right, we're in the process of putting in the new fuel pump, new seal too. So we're gonna put the seal first. Put it over this little hose. You should have a little groove where it sits at. Alright. This is good right there. So now we're about to install the pump now. So just, I guess you just spin it around and work your way in. Make sure you connect this hose. Make sure it clicks. Drop it down. Work your way in. Feels like that, right? Mm-hmm. Make sure that floater is not kinked or anything. So there you go. Put this in my light fill. Sorry. Stay. I'm almost done. Thank you. So, snapped right there. Alright guys, we're in the process of installing it back. Just install your ring clockwise now. I think I still need a little bit more, but y'all get the hint until it just backs out into this end, and then after that it means it's good. And after that we're gonna get back to hanging the gas tank back into its place, and we'll start assembling everything else. Connect your electrical connector and the line, just make sure it clicks all the way in. And if you want to make sure everything's good, make sure you have somebody cycle the key, the ignition on, and you check for all, like if there's any leaks or anything like that. Alright guys, we're gonna start putting the gas tank back on. Goes in this side here. Put it in like that, and you just twist it into its place. And it's good. And you just kind of twist it to the side, like so. Hold it. Bear with me. Like that. You can kind of get the idea of it. So we're gonna get the other side set up, and we'll be right back with you on tying this up. On the right side of the strap, so what you're gonna do is have your buddy support this. What you're gonna do is what was easier for us is we push the suspension back towards the back of the vehicle, which gives us a little bit more clearance to put that strap in. So this is what we're gonna do. There's your strap. Get your buddy to put that over there. Now put it in like that. Sorry you can't see that. There you go. Locks right there. And you just let it go. And you're just ready to put that all the way over the subframe inside. And you're ready to strap it up. Alright guys, we're about to bolt up the gas tank. So got my bolt ready. Remember, it's a 13mm. Have a friend or have a jack it all the way up. So what I'm gonna do, since it doesn't reach that much, get your ratchet ready. Put it on the bolt like I am. Push it all the way up. Like that. Do the same thing for the other side. Be right back. Gas tank is in. Now, gonna do the subframe. Forgot to mention the little bracket right here, and where you connect the two hoses to the flare necks. An idea. Just kind of fight with it. Use that little bolt right there. It's a 10mm bolt. Don't forget to tighten that. What you should do is have the subframe supported and everything, and then do the back ones first, the two back ones from each side, and thread them on, get them started a little bit, and then tighten them, and then make sure both sides, left and right, are tightened already. And then after that, that's when you come over here and you start jacking them up from the corner of this control arm. And that's just, once you lift that up, it's gonna line up perfectly with the front with no problems. Remember, for the back one, it's 21mm. Once you tighten this, it'll lift up by itself. If it doesn't, you can help it with the jack. But here it goes. There it goes. Now off to the front. What you could do is take off the jackstand from this side that you already bolted up, since it's already tightened from the back. You come down here to the front where this lower control arm mounts. Lift it up right there. And do the same thing for the other side. For the subframe bolts and the shock, same procedure. After installing the subframe, the next step is to install the drive shaft. The first step to that is to spline it into the transmission first, and then spline it into the differential. And then the last step, bolt it up in the cross member in the center of it, and you should be good to go. Make sure you pay attention to how the bolts came out in the beginning. Make sure you leave your car neutral, so that way it'll be more easier for you to spin the drive shaft so you can install the bolts. Last step is to install the exhaust. Make sure you start in the front. You put it into the headers, put your two nuts on each side, tighten them, make sure you put your O2 sensors back in, connect them, and then you work your way back. And then you're gonna hang up your mufflers on the rubber hangers in the rear. Alright guys, we just came back from the gas station. We just filled her up. She's reading fine. Gas tank is drying. It would have been leaking by now. So yeah, job is complete. If you were to do this alone, it would take about half a day, almost a full day of work. If you know what you're doing, it'll be better if you have a buddy with you, so he can help you. It'll take about a couple hours, 3 to 5 hours max. If on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like about 7.5 of hard difficulty. And yeah, this is our first video for YouTube. Please like and subscribe, and we're gonna keep making more videos like this. So please let us know what we could change or what we should do different, you know. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.